All righty, welcome back. Episode 3, College Guys Talking Ball. You got Ethan Cole here. You got TJ with me. We're back for another big episode. We're a little delayed today, but sometimes you got to adjust. The show must go on, man.
Yep. Nevertheless, the show must go on.
It was we hate to push it to Wednesday, but we still have a crowded weekend to talk about, and we're excited about it.
It does seem like it's a huge slate for sure of games, upcoming games.
For sure. You got huge top 10 matchups this week. You got notably Bama, Tennessee. You've got USC, Utah. That's not a top 10 matchup. That's a great Pac-12 matchup. You've got Michigan, Penn State. You've got some great matchups this weekend, and you had some last weekend as well.
Yep. And we're also going to cover, why some teams that had lost in the wild card series should be kicking themselves. The Mets, the Blue Jays, the Cardinals. All right. Let's start off with Monday night. This was a wild one between the Raiders and the Chiefs. The Chiefs won this one largely because Mahomes and Kelsey four touchdowns each. That's huge. Anything that you have to take away from this game?
I would say, obviously, you have the Mahomes and Kelsey machine that they've had for 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 years at this point. I don't know. It's starting to grow on me. They don't feel like young guys anymore, but you just see that the Chiefs are so good without Hill. And I'll add to that with my takeaway from the game is that Devontae Adams has just shown you all season. It does not matter who's throwing him the football. Now, Derek Carr's a great quarterback. There's no denying that, but he's not on the level of Rodgers. And he still finds a way to get Adams. But the thing is, Adams is running wide open. I can make that throw. Anybody can make those throws. So my takeaway is just how good Devontae Adams is, man.
And he's double covered both times, both touchdowns, beats both defenders. There's nothing really you can do about that.
He's kind of unreal, man. And he's one of those guys that he's kind of cemented in that top 3, top 5. I know it gets kind of difficult to rank these guys, but Adams has to be in it up there with everybody. But Kelsey and Mahomes are top 5 players in their own right.
Yeah,
so
they sure are. Yeah.
Tough to stop that, man. So let's go ahead with that. I guess we get into Sunday night's game. Let's get going. What do you got?
Absolutely. Well, the Sunday night game was Cincinnati and Baltimore. What do you think about this game and how it unraveled?
I would say, man, I love Lamar Jackson. I'm all about the Ravens, and I was very, very, very happy to see the Ravens back on top in this week's game. I think Lamar carried them. You can see that. There were some surprise performances from the Bengals, most notably Hayden Hurst with 6 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. But that wasn't enough to stop Lamar in the passing game, in the running game. Duvernay and Andrews with a supplement performance. I think Andrews is becoming a top 3, top 5 tight end as we speak. He's a guy that brings it every single week, and you don't see that out of a lot of tight ends. TJ Hawkinson, for example, he'll go for 40 in fantasy one week and 1 the next for me. But Andrews brings it every week.
To get there.
I think that's the real showing of how good you are as a tight end is that can you bring it every week and can you produce in the passing game every week, not have those 10 catch or 10 target games and then the next week kind of fade off to a 3 or 4 target game. So you see Andrew start to do that, and with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, a fan base like Baltimore, and a defense that bends and don't break, you're going to have a good football team, and you saw that Sunday night.
And it's definitely something he kind of hasn't had his whole career, just solid, consistent receiver. Even though he's a tight end, he's kind of molding into that receiver tight end kind of mesh that we've been seeing the last few years in the NFL. Justin Tucker makes a game-winning kick. I mean, is this guy the best that there ever is?
I think you want to see him make a big kick kind of in a big game like Vinatieri's made, but he just hadn't been in the big game. If he gets in the big games, he'll make the kick. So,
and of course, that's the only guy I can rival with him. I know Vinatieri, I'm pretty sure leads the entire league in points or whatever. How the kickers always get that stat. He has made 2 game winners, although they were 25 and 40. I would assume Justin Tucker makes both those. But one thing that's very interesting is me and you both heard it. How he goes through his mindset during the last few seconds of the game, how he kind of takes himself out of it, and it's more like a machine approach. So, a like turn of events, and he's not even kicking the ball. It's just his foot or whatever. It's just
Yeah, like we
it's
said,
hard
man.
to it's hard to explain, but
Well, but like we said, man, if you're taking the mental aspect out of it, that's the only thing that beats these kickers. I mean, the guys that they throw out there can kick, but the difference is mental fortitude, and you can see that Justin Tucker clearly has
yeah,
that, and he clearly performs again and again and
yeah.
again. So, man, that was a great game. I love that game. I was super happy the Ravens won. They can stay in my top 3 or 5 now. But how about Dallas at the Rams, man? What a
Oh yeah.
performance by Dallas.
Okay, so I mean, this was huge. Dallas's defense is elite. I'm gonna attribute this win for Dallas to their defense. That we need to start saying is elite. They're lethal. They're hungry. They're physical. They're fast. They're starting to create turnovers. Like they were so good at doing last year. I mean, we got to start talking about this defense being the best in the league. They're the only team yet to give up more than one offensive touchdown. They haven't given up more than 20 points. They have the most pressures.
They've only given up
Second
one
most.
offensive touchdown.
Like they haven't given up more than one offensive touchdown in a game.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So you
Maybe
see
either
what
way,
I'm.
that's impressive.
Yeah. And the most, I guess, my favorite thing about the Cowboys' success, being a Cowboys fan, they're just been so dominant on the line of scrimmage, which is so important, and which makes this game huge this Sunday night versus Philly, because Philly has a good defensive line, good offensive line. Definitely look for this one to be a big game. What do you think about this matchup?
I think you've taken away a lot from Dallas's defense in this matchup. I don't think we can sit here and talk about Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. We'll probably be talking about that for months. But I think what you really take away here is Dallas's defense has shown you they can carry them to win football games against good teams. And the Rams are just the jury's so out on them, and you forget that last regular season they weren't perfect either. And I think that's what we've expected since they won it, and they haven't been that yet. But I think your point about Dallas's defense is very, very true. And I think that that's a defense that can win football games. And when Dak comes back, now you feel like you're going to be able to put up a little bit more offensively. So this could be an
And
elite football team. This could be a NFC winning Super Bowl champion football team.
and I know you've had skepticism, of course. Cooper Rush. Is there a controversy? Is there not? I just want to say something. The Dallas Cowboys have had the number one total offense in 2019 and 2020. In 2021, I'm sorry. This is big because in 2019 they didn't have Lamb, they didn't have Pollard. They did have Cooper, but they made up. And I think when Dak comes back, they should be right on the rails of that total offense. Great lethal offense.
I
And
agree.
so, do you have anything kind of to take away from the Rams? Where do the Rams go from here?
Like I
What's
said,
your
I mean,
verdict on
I
them?
think we're expecting perfection out of these guys, and we're not getting it. But the thing is, if you watch anybody in the NFL, you're not getting perfection. Brady doesn't look
Yeah,
perfect. You always see him looking great. He doesn't look great. There's moments where the Chiefs, as much as we love them and as much as they do, they're not a perfect football team. So it's hard for me after 5 weeks to take something away from a football team as far as making a prediction of where they'll go. But I think that the Rams will be all right. But for now, I really do like the Niners in that division just because they have that ability to kind of punch you in the mouth. But I don't know. The
yeah.
Rams are tough. They're Super Bowl champs. They have pedigree now. So
I mean, yes. I guess I'll just agree with you. I'm not going to go off the rails on the Rams yet. Uh, the division is still winnable. 3-2 49ers lead that division. The Rams are 2-3. The only thing is for the Rams, if they don't start cleaning up their offensive line issues, it's going to be a struggle against any team. Matthew Stafford's going to have no time. They still have Cooper Cup's, an animal goes off every single game, just torches. And I'd imagine probably pretty worried, but I'd hold off on going that far. Still a lot. What do we have? 12 games, 12 weeks left. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think you're taking a lot away from Dallas's defense this week, to be completely honest with you. And there's just plenty of teams right now. The jury, like I said, the jury's still out on them, and the Rams are part of that group. I think that there's a echelon that teams there's only a couple teams, an upper echelon, a couple teams are in, and then you got the rest of the pack. And then obviously you have the teams that aren't very good, your Commanders, your Lions, but that middle group is very, very deep this year.
Yeah.
So
and they are definitely among the majority of the league that are 3-2 or 2-3.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so we had some controversy this Sunday. If you want to go ahead and take that.
Well, and the sad thing is it's going from Sunday now to Monday, and now we're probably going to see it through next Thursday. And here it is. It's the rough in the passer call. You're going to have to excuse my French. Just bullshit call. I mean, it's just a bullshit call, and it's not fair. It's not fair because this is a call that can really, really change the outcome of a game. If you guys watched the Falcons game or you even watched the Chiefs game last night, now the Chiefs call was a soft rough in the passer call. They had more time to come back, so that's okay. I'm a personal Falcons fan, but I'm also a football guy. You've constantly seen Brady get these calls over and over and over again. But usually there's a PI here or a hold here where you can kind of make an argument, it's ticky-tack, but it was there. Grady Jarrett sacked him, and you give him 15 yards, and that's Tom Brady with more time. That's the Falcons with less time. He just runs out the clock. Now, who's to say the Falcons don't win that game still? I mean, it's the Falcons. They probably don't. The Bucks get a stop. But listen,
it's bigger than that.
A team like Atlanta needs those opportunities, and there's only a select few teams that can get away. There's only a select few teams that can get away with Chris Jones roughing pass. Of course, you can get away with a BS call.
Yeah,
but
the Chiefs can get away with it. Yeah,
but the Falcons and other teams like that, if you can continue to see this the rest of the season, they're not going to be able to get away with this and still trying to find ways to win. And the thing about football is it's a game of inches, and you're not giving these guys inches. You're giving these guys 15 yards and a first down. And if you do it at the end of the game, if you do it at the end of the game when there's no chance for the other team, it's just sad to see. And it's one of the worst things I've seen personally watching sports my entire life. So I hope this gets fixed. And I want safety for the quarterbacks. But
yeah, and certainly we have to look into the Tua thing, what precautions they're taking to, kind of protect that, if that happens again, because we certainly don't want to see that. But I think the same, like you said, I'm going to agree with you. It's a horrible look for the NFL. And it should be fixed immediately. They should fix it immediately. They should look into all their officials, whatever. The only call if it's like egregious or whatever. And the thing that bothers me, kind of like you said, about the uptick of these game-changing plays is how much power the refs are given. And they can change the outcome of the game because of something that didn't happen, right? Something that a flag that wasn't committed. It's unfair if when it happens, my team feel the pain of Falcons fans and just how hurtful these flags are.
I'm not sure if the audio just cut out or not, but basically, just kind of review what you said, just real quick. I'm not sure if the audio cut out. Just a quick review. Yeah, just a quick review.
It's just
It's just so much power to rest to change the outcome of the game. Like you're talking about when a flag wasn't committed, when something wasn't being done wrong. And it's unfair. And when it happens to my team, I'll feel
the pain of the Falcons and just how crucial that call is.
Yep. Man, it's tough. And we could go on and on about it. All we need to see these quarterbacks be safe, but even the hit that injured Tua against Cincinnati was not a malicious hit. I mean, maybe I should look back at it, but it's just football. And even quarterbacks are coming and saying, "Look, I'm here to play football." Josh Allen, he's a football player. So there's a level of safety, but there's also a level of let's play some football. We're not playing touch; we're playing tackle football. So, but let's move on from that, man. So I don't get on my soapbox for too long. And give me your MVP after week 5, headed into week 6.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. It's gonna be just because he deserves it based on his projections, what he's gonna finish the season with. Hypothetically, doesn't get hurt, on a very straight line. He 1,400 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 2 picks. I mean, he's for for
45 touchdowns and only 6 picks. That's incredible. Not only that, they're most likely going to make a deep run at the playoffs. It seems like such a perfect recipe for
um,
they are
Allen's
say a guy is also there. But I think it's
Mahomes.
also before you go,
Some people know
Mahomes is awesome. I put the Bills this week in Allen.
So it's a huge matchup to look out for.
That's that matchup. That only has AFC implications. That has your kind of MVP implication.
Yeah.
So, and I'll go a little bit against the grain here. Maybe if we're looking at Vegas odds, I'm sure this guy's in the top 5 at least, top 10 at most. Lamar Jackson, man. I'm a big Ravens guy. I've always been a big Lamar guy. I love the way he plays, but not only the fact that he can run the football, but he does lead that offense so well, and they run through him, and their teammates believe in him. Lamar's put up some gaudy numbers in some games. He started the season on a roll, throwing the football, and now his running addition obviously is only a bonus to that Ravens offense and to Lamar's game. I think that Lamar can win this MVP. As far as the Ravens go, if they're a playoff team, I think you can realistically see Lamar Jackson taking this trophy home, because it's going to have a lot to do with how Lamar plays when they make the playoffs. But Mahomes, obviously, Allen, there's some other guys that are still in the race. But if you want me to select an MVP, I'd say Lamar.
Yeah, and if you're gonna give the edge to Lamar, which I can see a lot of people doing, it's great.
You have to
Look at the running game, of course.
I think the one thing from the MVP though
is his interceptions.
He has already on the year. I don't know not really guy that's gonna not throw picks, so you might see that season total
being kind of high.
Gotcha, man. Well, that's a great Sunday overview. So let's go.
Yeah. So we
to my favorite.
We had a great Saturday. Didn't we, Ethan? We were in Athens.
Yeah.
It was lit.
That's
the pop.
Get
better.
That's what happens. It'll do it to you, man.
Warriors will continue to fight.
They'll continue to fight. The show must go on, man.
What do you have here, Ethan?
Man,
Saturday.
We went over several games on Thursday's episode, so let's go a quick run through of what we overviewed. We got Bama versus A&M. I'm sure everybody listened and watched that game, or at least knows the result. I hate the play caller at the end for Texas A&M. I could sit here and talk about that one all day as well. I hate throwing it to a short side anyways, but when it's the last play of the game, it's just an atrocity. But you did see kind of a coming out party for a freshman receiver, Evan Stewart, for the Aggies. What a game he had. He showed that he can take on a team in the secondary by himself. Alabama squeaks out a win. I think we'll see what Alabama's really made of this week, so I don't want to go too in depth on them. Team like that, if they come out with a win, A&M's talented. That's all you ask for. Where we were, man, Dogs take care of Auburn in Athens, man. That was a great game. Love to see Stetson make some plays. The defense really stood up strong in that first half when we needed them, and we took care of business. I love watching Dajon Edwards run the ball. That's my dad's favorite running back we have. He's been calling him breaking out for a while. So
he had a great game. What was it? 3 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
Yeah. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Shout out to my dad, man. He called this one. So, and then we get Vandy this week. So I'm not gonna say it by.
Props words too.
But
yeah, we may not be covering.
We'll touch it, but Georgia should win.
Yeah.
TCU win at Kansas. Not much to say here. Looking back, that was just a kind of a cool matchup. Jalen Daniels goes down. Who's to say Kansas doesn't win? It does win if he doesn't get hurt, but you can't go back and change the past. I think TCU, we'll see what they're made of as this year goes on. And last, you got Tennessee whipping LSU on the road. Does this say more about Tennessee, or does it say where LSU's at as a program? Yet again, that story is yet to be written. And I think that Tennessee's a good ball club. This is going to be a great game this week at 3:30. Tennessee at home versus Bama. I can't wait to see it. Hendon Hooker in a big game. I mean, this should be a great weekend. And it was a great weekend last weekend.
Yeah. And certainly, what game to look forward to is, Bama heading to Neyland Stadium. That's going to be huge. One of the biggest games, probably in volunteer. Yeah, they haven't beat it in 15 years. Since be leaning towards maybe back. Okay.
Let's not forget.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget. All right. What I like to touch on is sucks to see Kansas go down. We kind of saw it coming. And Jalen Daniels is actually out for the season with shoulders. He's having shoulder.
No, that's fake. It's fake. You can see that? It's fake.
Is that fake, really?
It's fake.
Okay, well, I was wrong. I saw a report that he was going to be out for the season.
But that is a headline.
Yeah. Right, I think this only opens the door for TCU. I mean, huge Big 12 matchups coming.
They have 2 home games. First OP State and then Kansas State next week after that. Definitely look for TCU.
Who knows?
As for Kansas, if they lose another game, we're probably never going to talk about them again. So it was fun to touch on them for a second and see how they kind of come to be. That magic
seems to be over.
We'll be talking about Kansas in about 3 months.
Yeah,
and not for a New Year's Six bowl.
And we're going to continue to talk about Kansas because the Kansas City Chiefs, but maybe not the Jayhawks.
Yep. Yeah. No. But hey, TCU's favored at home this week. Kind of wild.
Really?
They're favored. I think it was 3 or 3.5 last time I looked. But
you know what though? I mean, I feel like you should give them that. You should give them the benefit of the
just went on the road and beat Kansas. That was a great
game. There's definitely a lot of stock in the fact that they whipped Oklahoma.
Vegas that's what it is. Yeah. But Oklahoma can't really rebound. They're kind of, they're done.
They're just still a team that, I guess, when you put them on paper against an Oklahoma State or some of these teams, you still kind of lean. I mean, even me personally put a little bit of money on Oklahoma +7, and you saw how that went. Geez, what a game! But by the Longhorns.
Another thing to note: Ohio State took care of business. Texas, they whooped Oklahoma, which that should lead us to question why there's still faith in Oklahoma. There really shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe you're waiting for them to lose to like a bad team, because right now Texas. Now you're making arguments if Ewers doesn't get hurt. They beat Alabama, so that's really a good team. And then it's like TCU looks like they're good, and now it's like Kansas State looks like they're good.
They're getting shut out, and then they're losing by 20.
That's
so
true.
It's like
very true.
So we can't. We have to leave Oklahoma in the dust. Riley.
All right. Well, I think we. Speaking of the Buckeyes, let's give our current Heisman just real quick.
Yep.
Me personally, as a Georgia fan, I wanted to say Stetson, and Stetson could still go out here and ball out and have a couple big games and in some bigger games, but right now it's got to be Stroud. He's number 1 in the country in quarterback rating. They're sitting at number 2 with 6-0 with some big blowout wins. You're looking at 113 for 160, which is good for a 70.6 completion percentage, 1,737 yards, and 24 passing touchdowns, only 3 picks, leads the country in touchdowns and quarterback rating. Like I said before, I think you will see what he's made up in some bigger games, but I think right now it's got to go to Stroud, and I can't see the Buckeyes not going 12-0. So that means he will probably get it. They'll win the Big 12, go to the playoff, he'll get the award. And just in my opinion, statistically, that it only makes sense.
That's kind of one of those things where, they're most likely going to, go undefeated, and then he's going to get it just because he.
One loss, but.
Yeah, either or. And I definitely, I would agree here if it ended today. But I think we need to give some love to some other guys. Specifically, let's go over to the number 11. UCLA has a guy in Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He has 15
DTR.
And only 2 picks. And I didn't think this guy was a big aired out guy, because he has 4 touchdowns as well. So, what to say there? 88.4 QBR. It's really good, and he's been leading them to victories, against pretty good opponents too.
And Pac-12 has some teams where if UCLA are undefeated, they could have a spot in the college football playoffs.
No, I agree. I don't know that UCLA is going to be undefeated. To be honest, that's the only reason I disagree there. I think DTR is a great candidate for the award, but UCLA is going to trip up here, and we're going to be sitting here laughing. They've done it year in, year out, and until you show me you're consistent, I mean, this dude DTR has been playing there for 5-6 years. But that being said, I'm not trying to get on the hate train. The Heisman usually feels like it's predetermined most of the time, almost. So,
yeah.
But it would be a great story.
I mean, he's the teams that I was alluding to him playing good, against Utah. Team for 23, almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I think that was Saturday, a great game. And then also Washington, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah.
I think good in big games. I mean, their defense isn't really good. They're giving up 30 points.
We'll see.
For sure.
We'll see. And right before we move to baseball, man, let's throw it out there. Let's give our top 4s.
You want to go first?
I guess
I went first. I went first last time, so
okay, I'll go first.
I guess you should go first. A little bit of difference here.
I'll go staying at 4, Clemson. I'll go staying at 3, if I'm not mistaken. Or I mean, this is the same 4 teams. Buckeyes at 3, but I'm making an adjustment. I'm flipping Georgia back to number 1, putting the Tide at 2, although the Tide are at 3 in the real polls. I think the Tide, if you play the Buckeyes today, I'm still leaning Crimson Tide because they're going to have Young back or whatever. I put my Georgia Bulldogs back at number 1, rightfully so. And they will continue to show throughout the rest of the season they are the number 1 team in the country. I'm very proud of their performance Saturday, and they're back at number 1 for me.
And I had the Dogs at number 1 last week, and I made a last-second decision this week to head up to Athens, go watch them. They, almost shut Auburn out. Did they shut Auburn out?
42-10.
42-10. Okay, so basically it was a shutout for a while.
Garbage time touchdown.
They're not going to be my number 1 team this week, though.
And then at 3, I'm going to go Bama. At 2, I'm going to go UGA. The only reason that at 2 is because I didn't like that Stetson Bennett threw the ball against Auburn. Number 1, I'm going to go just because they had almost 5 straight games winning 31 points. Impressive.
Well, I guess the jury's still out on everybody right now, especially teams that haven't run into big games yet, which does include Georgia, and it does include Alabama, and it does include Ohio State for the most part. So, and even Clemson's won some big games. That's why I'm big on them right now. But
we're going to hit baseball pretty quick, but I just want to get something noted right now. So as we're recording, it's Wednesday, October 12th. It's 3:30. I guess these games are about to get, the NLDS Game 2 games are about to set off. So we aren't going to go too much in depth as too much of the series, but we're going to cover the teams that lost, why they lost.
Yep. So first, man,
I'll start here. Yeah. So I think, the Mets should be in shambles here. Very disappointing series versus the Padres. They lose in 3 games. Again, game.
Show them that from our game 2 and then game 3,
kind of the same thing. Okay, I think it's sad, and I almost want to feel bad for the Mets fan, but I don't. Never put the cart before the horse, and it seems like that's what they did. Before I pass it on to you, I just want to talk about Scherzer. He has the highest average, in the league. Giving up 7 earned runs at home, not even through 5 innings. Game 1, that's what do you think about the Mets finishing?
Man, I as a Braves fan, I'm happy about it, but right now I guess I can't be too happy. We need to win today. I think it says a lot about Scherzer. He didn't bring what we call the FU stuff. He gave up 7 and 5, and He just didn't perform the way they needed him to, and those Mets bats.
It's good too. The ground pitch pretty good.
The Mets bats aren't there to recover from anything like that. I think this offseason is interesting for the Mets. They lose a lot of guys, including DeGrom, Diaz, Carrasco, Nimmo, Ottavino. It's actually wild if you look at how many guys they're losing. So, Mets fans, you might be back to 70 wins next year. So, hope y'all enjoyed winning the division because you didn't, but you won it for 4 months, but you didn't win it. So, enjoy your offseason. Goodbye.
Also, props to Joe Musgrove. He pitched amazing in game 3. I mean, what do you say?
You just have to tip your cap at that point. They try and shun him. They try and grow and say he's cheated, and he shuns against them.
So let's talk about the Cardinals a little bit. By the way, this is just a burn mark. I'm all right. But let's talk about the Cardinals real quick. Just, TJ, give me the reason. Why did the Cardinals lose this series?
This one's simple. They forgot to show up to the field.
They scored 3 runs in a combined 2 games. Sorry. Getting shut out at home in game 2. You're staring Dennis Brand in the face and you get shut out. It's embarrassing a little bit. And as much as I want to say they kind of choked, they didn't. Their star players just didn't show up. The NL MVP, soon to be Goldschmidt, 0 for 7, 4 strikeouts, and Arenado 1 for 8. A combined 1 for 15. That's not going to cut it. Especially
in the wild card series, you need your guys to show up.
And despite the juice that our goals retiring take the outlet to the Cardinals. Let's do it for the future. As long as they can look at a dominant starting pitcher, a catcher, as Molina also retired, and then maybe a steady offensive shortstop.
They needed a catcher for 4 years, man.
Well, not according to you, but this offseason, look for them to
make some moves in free agency for sure. That'll be Cardinals for a while. So
the Cardinals are a great franchise, so that they'll rebound. But let's move on. Let's move on to Blue Jays Mariners. Tell me about the Blue Jays and why can they not perform in October?
So
I'm gonna go with it's a choke for the Blue Jays.
Game 2 is a 8-1.
Yeah, what a joke. And as much as the public loves the Mariners, I don't think it's anything more than the Jays just choking it away.
Or at least choking away an opportunity to play in game 3. Give up a 7-run lead, and then
they just
back-to-back double.
Cal Raleigh.
I'm just going to say
sorry, Jays fans.
Sorry, Toronto fans. Sports person real. Your town can't see anything.
It's funny. I saw something the other day that you just forget the Raptors won it. Like,
did they won it? I know.
They won it recently.
3 years ago. And the reason I say that there's a curse is because the Jays are supposed to be way better than the
Maple Leafs. Holy moly!
They're one of the best players in the world. So.
All right, real quick, man. Let's just give the Mariners. I'm going to give the Mariners a little love. You actually saw last night they lost on a walk-off jack by Alvarez. What a swing! I guess we'll touch into that more in tomorrow's episode. But I want to give the Mariners a shout out, man. It's hard to win a series in the playoffs. And it's a whole lot harder to win it when you haven't been in the playoffs and they won a series. We'll see what they do in the DS, but I just want to give them a little love. We've got some guys stepping up right now. So ALDS Yankees.
Okay, yeah. So. One thing about
1-0 current Yankees lead.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the Mariners and Houston series.
Yeah. That's our late, but unfortunately now the outlook for this series looks so weak for them. Have to win game 1. Touch up Verlander. You have the lead, and you're 1 pitch away. And you give up a home run. Like you put the Cy Young in there too. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean that's a freaky homer, but it's kind of just a big time moment. But I guess like I said, we'll see, man. And it's
and Cleveland and the Yankees are already also
there, but the Yankees are up 1-0. I actually said before we had some technical difficulties yesterday that the Yankees would win the series in 4. TJ had the Guardians in 5.
I had the Guardians at 5, yeah.
But the thing is, I'm about to name off Cole, Rizzo, Torres, Donaldson, Severino, Carpenter, Stanton, Bader, Marwin are all guys, not the best players. You may even laugh when I say like Marwin Gonzalez or Harrison Bader, but these are guys with postseason experience. And I hadn't even named Judge yet, who makes them go. You saw they won 4-1 last night behind Colts, 8 strikeouts. I think the Yankees are too much. I love the Guardians as an offense. I love some of their players, but the Yankees are too much here. I think they were almost so overrated that now they're underrated, and now they could win in the postseason when it really matters.
And we certainly talked about it, but the Cleveland staff has definitely proved it to me. They only give up 1 run in 24 innings against the Rays. That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, they've already given up 4 to the Yankees. So it's just kind of getting hotter because I have to I think it would be smart. Thinking
and I guess what I was going to say is that you want to look for guys to step up around Judge.
You know, the guys like Rizzo, who had a big homer yesterday.
And despite Rizzo hitting that home run, their one
5 batter, that was the only hit. So I'm going to say J-Ram goes off here. The Guardians pitch well enough. They've always been belittled by the Yankees. I'm going to say Guardians at 5.
You're sticking with that?
I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
They have to go to Cleveland still. They still have to go to Cleveland. So we'll stick there.
And you get Bieber and McKenzie and fresh arms.
The turnaround of the lineup. Cole pitched great. I mean, we should talk about it.
Yeah, true.
The Guardians.
So we disagree there, but we'll see. It's kind of a little weird doing it mid-series, but
and do you want to kind of touch on the NLDS?
Yeah, we can just make quick picks. Like I said, we'll talk about it more tomorrow's episodes in depth. We can review the first 2 games. I still have Braves in 4. I think they could win 3 straight. I think it's probably more realistic to say them in 5 right now, but we'll see how they perform. The game actually just got delayed a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, but
is it raining there?
Yeah, it's raining.
It's pretty crappy weather here too.
I've got my money behind Atlanta today, and then I've got my words behind it in the rest of the series. So go ahead.
So I'll say Braves in 5 as well. I guess now that you say Braves in 5, death plays a big factor in this series, and it's kind of
Correct. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. On the other side of the country, actually, we've got the Dodgers, TJ's team. We got the Padres. Last night, the Dodgers dominated the Padres.
Yeah.
I thought the Padres' only chance to sneak a game this entire series to make it interesting was last night because they've been riding off a little bit of heat, beating the Mets on the road. Actually had Dodgers in 5. I believed in the Dodgers the whole time. Literally 30 seconds ago, I just changed it on the document to Dodgers in 3. I thought San Diego didn't even really show up last night, and so
they did.
They'll take care of them.
I think they did more to the extent that people are going to give them, but I'm going to say Dodgers in 4. They have the home field. They have a hungry line.
That's Freeman and Justin Turner combined over 10 last night. That's probably not going to happen again. If I were to put money on anything, I'd say that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right, but let's
quick before we get done here. Let's roll over our prop to pop. Mine personally from last Thursday was Baker's 18.5 in completions. I had him under. He went over that with 20 and a big loss, but only up from here. I'm 0 for 1. My player to watch was Juan Soto, so we'll see if he can carry.
He didn't really do anything game 1, but my last week's prop to pop was nice to see.
He did record 5 and over 7 innings. I mean, he was great.
He's great. Just no strikeouts, really.
For this week, I'll go Austin Riley over 1.5 total bases. Look for J-Ram. I think he dealt game 1, so
we'll see, man.
Also, Mikey picked Herbert. I don't think he